Hello, my name is Gage.
My name is Nirav.
We've worked on the community website partnership app for iOS for our spring term capstone.
Our client is a local nonprofit organization. They help build website for rural communities. They came to the SOU to help building an iOS app that displays their website. They want to increase user retention, grow their user base, and increase the accessibility of their website. Our client's website allows for users to interact with each other, post their own content, volunteer, acquire access to the local resources, get regional news, and see the local projects.
For our app, we want to have a simple, easy to use user interface. For this, we had a scrollable list of icons that match to each website and the search bar at the top of the page. When a user clicks on a button, they're directly brought to the website's homepage. At the top of the screen, when they're viewing the website, there's a clearly labeled back button to return the user to the list of the websites that is the homepage of our app. When the user enables geolocation, they're recommended a web page based on their current distance to the nearest Oregon County where there's a website located. They can use the geolocation feature by just simply clicking on the search bar at the top of the homepage. The user can use the websites with full functionality, just as if they were viewing in a normal browser. This includes account management, website features such as notifications, events that are going on, full navigation through the websites. And when our user is using the search feature, if they start typing, the search feature automatically updates what websites are being shown to them based on whatever keywords they've typed to the best match that it possibly can. And at the top of our app homepage, there's a logo with our client's website image, as well as a message that tells the user how all the websites are connected to each other and how to use the app.
For the tools and tech, we use the MacBook, and we borrowed the MacBook from the SOU IT department, and with the Priscilla's help, we use this as our development OS that we could download and use the Xcode IDE that's the Apple required platform. Xcode is distributed by the Apple and their recommended developer environment. We use the iPhone, iPod simulator that is a part of Xcode to test our app. We use the Swift programming language also created by Apple to create our app. Finally, we needed to use Apple Developer to publish our app to the App Store. Additionally, we need to use certificates, which are part of Apple Developer, to attempt to integrate push notification in order to publish our app.
For our version 2 demo, we are going to show you the geolocation feature. As well as you can see here, we've added iPad and iPod support. And what that means is that our app stretches our icons and website content to fit the resolution of both iPad, which is much larger than an iPhone, and an iPod, which is much smaller than an iPhone. And we're going to do a live demo of our app using our simulator software. And so if we pull that up here, you can see that our user is going to see the homepage of our app when they click on it, which has our client's banner at the top, our client's message as part of the banner that contextualizes all the websites to each other, and that they're all community websites that are made by residents of their local community. If our user wants to go and scroll through the web page, all they have to do is scroll down and see a list of all the web pages that are available. If our user has enabled geolocation and click on the search feature, they're going to be recommended web pages based on their county location. And for our demo, we have set our location to be Coos County. And so the app suggests that the user may want to view the Banding Cares website and the South Coast Connects website, because those are both located around Coos County. If our user clicks on one of the apps, they're going to be brought to the website homepage. Here, they can scroll through the web page just as if they were using a regular web browser. They can use any feature of the web page if they want to search or if they want to navigate through the web page. They can go through the directories, and if they're done browsing the website, all they have to do is click this back button up here, and they're brought back to the app home screen. If the user wants to search for a specific app, let's say the Connect Douglas website, all they have to do is type in a matching keyword, and the app will bring up the corresponding website. They can click on this and go directly to the website, and then go back. And that is our entire app. It's very simple, straightforward, easy to use. And that concludes our demo. If we go back to the website or back to our slideshow to our next slide.
For the testing, we tested our app using the Xcode simulator. The simulator allows you to select any recently released Apple device to virtually run your app on. We tested our app using iPhone 11, iPhone 11 Pro, iPhone 13, iPhone 13 Pro, iPod Touch 7th generation, iPad 9th generation, and the iPad Pro 5th generation. When we made the changes to our application code, we could simply run a simulated version of an Apple device and get the instant feedback on our change. This was especially helpful with UI design and the configuring the layout between the multiple versions. The simulator also allows you to spoof your location, which was a very helpful troubleshooting our geolocation features, as we could test where in Oregon our app thought we were and get instant feedback for our testing. Unfortunately, the simulator isn't helpful for testing push notification, as the testing for simulated push notification is quite different from the physical device.
We had intended to do a real world test with the test flight application provided by Apple. However, we intended to do this at kind of the end of our development cycle, and we ran into development issues and distribution issues trying to get our app to work with test flight. And so we unfortunately weren't unable to do real world testing at the very end. We also created documentation for our application, and we created both a video and text document with step-by-step guides to maintaining our website, to maintaining our application and adding new websites. We included a tutorial on how to update our code base with GitHub, as well as trying to use simulator and enabling geolocation. And part of our app development, we also included thorough documentation of our code base and commenting every block of code so that anyone that continues working on our app in the future has everything neatly explained to them and how each of our features connect to each other. So how our geolocation is implemented to work with our search feature, and how our search feature is embedded in our display, and how it updates the display based on what our user is currently typing. We're going to show you some of our documentation so that you can see we included click-by-click, step-by-step guides that show every single part of our copying to our copying the code in Xcode from GitHub, as well as adding new buttons to our app. Back to the slideshow.
For the division and labor perspective, we work on much of the project together and split work evenly, and we also divided work on creating the documentation for the app, as well as for the video tutorial. We were both present during meetings with our clients and the capstone manager, and basically we work all together during all the during the project.
This is a conclusion of our presentation. We developed an easy to use app that displays our client web pages. And for version 2 of our app, we implemented the geolocation feature, finished our search feature, and added a banner to the app, to the start page of our application. And the goal of our app was to provide a straightforward and easy way for our users to connect with our clients' content. And with the CWP app, we're hoping to include or to increase our user interaction and retention. We thank you for watching our presentation.
Thank you so much for watching.